Hi guys, it's Leah Savage here from the Spirit Speaks channel. Uh, yeah, wow, it's been a crazy week, has it not? More and more stuff is being disclosed about our world leaders. There's a lot of people a bit afraid right now. There's a second wave that Bill Gates has been promising us since the first wave. And yeah, so there are a few countries around the world that are going into lockdown for the second time, and there's a lot of fear. Yeah, so I just want to encourage everybody to not buy in so much to that fear. And I think we all do it sometimes. It's very, very easy to. There's a lot of distractions, and the media are telling us lots and lots of different things. But if we can disconnect from that fear and go within and just give ourselves the opportunity to breathe and to connect with ourselves and to learn more about ourselves. Now, that might be reading books about about our true nature, about who we are as human beings on this planet. It could be connecting with nature. It could be coming together with friends and knowing who your support is and getting a really nice supportive circle around you. I want to share with you guys today about a shamanic journey that I did last month. I wrote a blog about it actually, and so what I'll do is I'll pop a link in below for you to check that out if you want to read the more in-depth detail of it. Anyway, so I took the shamanic journey. For those of you who don't know what that is, I work as a shamanic practitioner. It's like a therapy that Indigenous peoples have used since the beginning of time. And in every culture, there are people who are born with this natural affinity for this kind of work. So yeah, so sorry. So last month, I was in ceremony with some friends, and we decided to take two shamanic journeys, one out to our ancestors who've been through this time before. And the second one was to our descendants who have been through this period and come out the other side and survived. And so all three of us took this journey. We all came up with similar answers, but everyone's was slightly different. So I'm going to share with you my experience through that journey work that we did. So the first journey that we took was out to our ancestors. And the minute I left this physical realm that we're currently living in right now, and I moved through the worlds, I found myself sitting around a fire with my ancestors, and there were a couple of tribal chiefs sitting at this fire. And I asked the question, do you have any information or anything that you would like to share with us at this time about surviving this period? Now, instantly I was taken up into the sky from a bird's eye view, and for some reason I was seeing this bird's eye view in London and seeing people coming together, not in solidarity so much, but more as family, and in a way that recognizes coming together and linking arms in a way that recognizes that we're all family. And through this recognition, through this understanding of us all being family, all being brothers and sisters, we were able to finally grasp and comprehend exactly what all being one is. In my early days of my spiritual journey, I would hear a lot of people saying, oh yes, we're all one and it's really beautiful. And I'd be like, yeah, we're all one. That feels nice. And I kind of understood it. But more and more as I got deeper and deeper into understanding who I am as a spiritual being, I started to see that, okay, we are all from the same cosmic soup, let's say. You could call that God or the goddess or universal energy or prime creator. Yeah, whatever your jam is, it's all correct. So, yeah, I just sort of saw us as this sort of like this one energy coming down onto the planet, all having these separate experiences on the earth. Now, the 3D reality that we live in now says to us or tells us that this chair is separate from me, that tree is separate from me, this person is separate from me, and we're all individuals having our own experience on this planet. And we're all separate spirits having a physical experience on the earth. But this is actually not true. So in this way of recognizing that, that guy I see walking past my house every day with his dog is my brother and is me, through understanding that we are family, is the start of a really profound shift in ourselves on such a deep level. It rocks us on the more cellular levels of our being. Now, going back to the journey work that we were doing that particular evening, I saw us all linking arms, and then suddenly I was in this journey. I was standing there in the circle linking arms with everybody, and we were in so much love for one another. And circles were forming all over the city and all over the world. So once a week, everybody was getting together and linking arms and singing together and laughing together and turning their backs on all the things that have been creating fear, that have been distracting them from seeing anything other than the fact that we are one. The color of our skin does not matter. The paycheck that we get at the end of the week doesn't matter. The choices that we make, the kind of car that we want to drive, the house that we want to live in, the lifestyle that we want to have, it doesn't matter, because we are that one being having these individual experiences on these different parts of the web of life. So as I found myself linked arms with everybody else in this circle, I began to feel this shift in my body, and it was like my breathing started to change, my heart rate began to change, and it was almost like we were breathing as one, our hearts were beating as one, and we started to heal on such a deep cellular level. I could feel my DNA within my body shifting and changing and healing, and I could feel sort of on this spiritual level something else going on. I felt so strong and unshakable, as did everybody else, because we were coming together as this one being in understanding that all this crazy, all this static that's flying around and telling us all these different things and distracting us from this time of awakening, which is actually cool. There's so much beauty in what's happening right now. And yeah, but anyway, I think I'm going to cut that bit out because I'm mumbling. But yeah, so I could just feel it shift my body on such a deep level. Like even my organs, I felt were like could breathe again, and just everything just started shifting in me. And there was this sort of emotional shift as well, and this level of love that I've never experienced before. And there was so much joy in that too. And I heard a voice as I was sort of both observing this and being a part of this experience. And the voice said to me that if we can come together not in fear, to show the powers that be that we're not afraid and that it's okay, that this will create a massive shift for us. So I thanked the spirits for their information and for what they'd shown me, and I returned back. I wrote my story down, and then went into the second journey. Now, the second journey was one to our descendants. So our descendants are the people who have been born after us on our family line, who have been through this exact period before. And this one was so intriguing to me. And I suppose we're all sort of intrigued on one level or another about what the future holds way beyond what our experience is now on the planet in this current time that we're living in. So I found myself, I was standing in, it was sort of like a colder part of the world, and it was quite beautiful. It was snowing, and I could feel the cold, and there were these guys standing there, and this blonde man came forward with a suit for me, and I took the suit and I looked at the suit, and he didn't really speak, but I received the message from him, and the message was that the suit will regulate my body temperature so that I don't have to be cold. And he said, you can put the suit on if you want. And I was like, cool. With the visualization of the cold, I did feel my body get cold, because when you're doing the shamanic journey, your body can respond to things while you're out there. So while I was out there, I could still feel my body, and I could feel my body feeling cold, and I put this suit on, and it was like, I don't know, 20 degrees in this suit. It really worked, and I was like, wow. And I was super impressed. I thought it was so cool. From there, I don't even know why they showed me that. It was, anyway, I thought it was really, really cool. But yeah, so from there we went into like this beautiful round house, and it was sort of like half of it was sort of like a glass bubble, and then the other half was sort of like, I don't know, covered in something else. It's a material that I've never seen before. But I was standing in this lounge room, and as soon as I'd sort of made myself comfortable, the same man who had handed me this suit came forward, and he said, "It's time to wake up the land." And I looked at him, and I knew exactly what he'd meant, because being into shamanism, a lot of people who are in the shamanic world are quite connected to the land, very connected to nature. And I've noticed for years now, whenever I'd done land work, or if I was just walking around in new places, I could see little spirits sleeping in the rocks or sleeping in the hills, and in the cliff faces and in particular rock formations and stuff. And I always had this feeling like one day these beings are going to wake up at a time when humans start to awaken more into who we truly are. And so as soon as this man said to me, it's time to wake up the land, I knew exactly what he meant. He said that it is time to ask the land to wake up from its slumber and ask that the spirits of the land stand with the humans at this time to help us through this shift, to help it be easier for us through this time, and to ask for their nurturing and their support. Now, he said that, if you're into shamanism or whatever, you don't even have to be into shamanism. You can just grab a drum, you can beat the drum and call out to the spirits and say, hey, wake up. The humans are awakening. We need your help and we need your support. You could sing it. You could send out a prayer to the land of just where you live at home. He said you could even pick up a stone and whisper these words into a stone and then bury the stone into the earth. In whatever way you connect, or if you're only just new to the whole idea, the whole concept of being spiritual, just say out a prayer, whisper into that rock. In whatever way you connect, this is how we are going to get all the help we need from the land. And by calling on the land to come out of its slumber, once that's happened as well, I think we will notice an intense shift energetically in bringing things a bit more into balance on the land as well. Certain energies will probably start flowing that weren't flowing before. This is how we can change the world in our own way and help this be a smoother ride for everyone around the planet, both awakened or otherwise. Now, if you want to read the blog on this experience, it's sort of like, when you go and see a movie that was made from a book that you read, and then you're like, oh, the book was definitely more in depth. This is one of those things. So if you want the more in-depth, deeper, emotional, layered side of the story, I urge you to go and check out and click on that link below right after you have clicked like and subscribe and the bell down there somewhere on one of the sides, because I'd really, really love to get as many people as possible onto this channel so that I can keep delivering this information. And remember that we are all one and we are family, and we can look after each other through this time. Don't let anything separate us from one another. If there was ever a good time to come together, now would be it. All right, gang. Sending you heaps of love and blessings to everybody who is doing their part right now. Even if you're just sharing things online to help people feel a bit better, to help people feel stronger, or to reveal some more truths that are happening in this world. Thank you and well done. We're all here together, and we can find our community. I actually do have a Facebook page, so I'm sort of growing my own spiritual community at the moment. And also I'm doing all of my shamanic healing work by donation. So if you jump on my website, which will be another link below, I also do mentor work now. I haven't put that in my website yet, but I will when I get some time. But yeah, I've been starting to mentor people through their emotional and spiritual awakening, and turns out I'm really good at it. So check that out. And yeah, so when you get to the page, the healing page, and you get I've written a little bit about what kind of healing work I do. There's a thing down the bottom, so it has the price, and then underneath it's got a little click here, and that gives you the opportunity to have this work done by donation during this time of COVID. So if you are struggling financially right now, please do that. I'm more than happy to offer my services in that way. And yeah, so when you click on the link, and that will give you information on you know what to expect coming into your healing, and also the sliding scale that I'm sort of asking for as a donation. Guys, I'm pretty sure that's it. So yeah, don't forget to like the hell out of this and subscribe and hit that bell, and I will no doubt speak to everybody soon. All right, guys, sending lots of love. Mwah.